Hello and welcome to the Last Watchtower, which is a game where you have to use magic to ward off monsters while you guide people to safety in a forest. Without further ado, let's get into it. My dear Aaron, if you are reading this message, it is because I am no longer of this world, and there are so many things I would have liked to tell you, explain to you. The truth is, I didn't have the strength to do it. Was afraid you'd remembered the man, no, the monster I was before all this. I don't know if life gave me a second chance, or wants to punish me for what I did, but having the chance to watch you grow and become the person you are today is the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced in my entire long life. That's why I think you deserve to know the truth about who I was, who you really are, and what happened. I left you a map that shows the location of a watchtower that does not appear on any other map, because only you can access it. If you decide to go there, you'll have answers to your questions, but you will have to face the hell I've brought us all into. You must tell no one, least of all Lou Bell. She thinks she's protecting you by locking you in the village, but no one must restrict you from living your life. Never again. Know that, even though your grandmother and I are no longer here, a part of us will always be in your heart and will support you in difficult times. You are the greatest gift we have ever had, and we love you so very much. Your grandfather, Morgan. Okay. Finally here. There's no turning back now. Actually, let me increase the sensitivity a smidge. There we go. Obviously, I've already played this game. But this should be a more up-to-date version. And to kind of cut right to it, this version actually addressed a lot of parts of the gameplay that I think. Oh, so the rune will be your main tool when you press F. Okay, yeah, so it's mostly the same stuff. So follow the singing voice. I remember there was like, I think there was one right here, right? Yeah. Okay. Actually, before I talk, let me remind myself where everything is. So there's the area over there. I think bottom of like one of the corners of the stairs, tree, and behind the shed. Okay. Oops. I instinctively pressed escape. Um, but yeah, anyway. So this is a more up-to-date version, and it it seems to be like balanced around like some of the things I had noticed. Um well, not me specifically, but like there was a couple things in the version that I played where it's like, wow, they were aggressive. Like the monsters, I mean, and you only have limited resources. So their aggressive nature was very harsh on the limited resources you have. Anyway, so there was things like that that was reworked. Monsters no longer attack you when you have tooltips, which is probably like one of the bigger things. Um, Wait, so it's like weird sideways M, sideways fox, precision symbol, pyramid head, and then I think I need to stop doing that. And then like north. All right, bang, 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 boom. Did I get it wrong? Should be right. Oh, you have to back away first. Okay. That's cool. Um, but yeah, I also had the pleasure of talking a little bit with the developer. Very nice guy, by the way. I don't know if you're watching the video, but if you are, it was a pleasure talking. Um, but yeah, he actually helped give me a couple clues because it turns out I'd accidentally found one of the four secret logs that were in the game. And I'll try to find the others. There's no guarantee I'm smart enough to, but I'll try. Uh, oh yeah, I need to go to sleep first. I think then there's like the generator issue. No worries. Um, let's see what I need the key. Uh, bang. But yeah, like these are the limited resources I was talking about. This should be more manageable. I'm playing on normal right now, so I can gauge like the baseline difficulty. Um, like just like how it is. I think that would be like the most useful thing to get on video format more than anything. Anyway, there we go. Uh, should be in the clear, right? I think the generator is running just fine. Bang. Huge. Okay, so I'm not going to pick that up. Okay, to navigate the terminal, you just need to type keywords. Cool. So the first, like, I'm just going to skip to the first secret log I had found, right? Which was root. So this was the first secret log. And anyone that didn't read it, like, in the past, I can skim over it now. I met this cult worshipping an invisible entity they call the Root. I don't know if they're the cause of this entity, or if the entity is the cause of the cult. From what I know, the entity never physically existed, but its cultists used hosts to offer the possibility of interacting with the physical world. So why do these hosts seem so in pain and suffering? I made the decision to free these hosts from their torment, turning the cultists against me. I tried to get information from them about the origin of their power, but they just laughed in my face. I warned the elves to be on their guard. This way, in which this cult corrupts other entities, is far too similar to the method used by the... something I obviously am not supposed to be able to read. It can't be a coincidence. Okay, so I remember the terminal said to type in help, so let's put that in. So available commands, you have the bestiary, the map, tools, and exits. So let's start with the tools. To help keep you safe, your watchtower has many tools to help you and the explorers you're helping. Okay. And I'm wondering, is this going to be like the tooltips, or is this something else? The radio is your only means of communication with the explorers, camps, and the village. When someone tries to reach you, a small red light accompanied by sound will flash to let you know. Keep in mind that the radio is connected to the watchtower's power and will not function without it. So yeah, it looks like this might be separate from the tooltips. So I'm gonna read these just in case. So planks and hammer, in the event that one of your windows were to be broken, a hammer and planks have been provided for you, so you can barricade broken windows and prevent anomalies from entering. Remember that you're limited in the amount of boards, so it is best to keep an eye on the windows. Just in case. No, okay. Okay, so we have Rune. In order to protect yourself from anomalies that may come your way, a rune of purification is at your disposal. If you encounter an anomaly, simply use the rune on it to scare it away. But be careful. The rune takes a little while before it becomes active again. Yeah. Then, of course, there's the terminal. The terminal is the databank available at all watchtowers. It is a crucial source of information to provide and educate watchers and explorers about the dangers the Lost Forest presents and how to deal with them. Keep in mind that the terminal is connected to the watchtower's power and will not function without it. And then, of course, there's the generator. Each watchtower has a generator that powers the runes, supply energy to the tower. Keep in mind that the generator can sometimes go out, and without power, you can't use your radio or your terminal. You'll also be plunged into darkness, risking forest madness. Okay. Forest madness is a paranormal event that affects anyone near an anomaly related to the route when they find themselves completely alone and in the dark. Symptoms include visual and auditory hallucinations, extreme feeling of anxiety, hearing an unfamiliar female voice. What? Hearing an unfamiliar female voice? Is that like the singing? No matter. If a person succumbs to forest madness, they will eventually become a rooted ghoul. Advice: always carry a source of light with you, or the equipment needed to generate one. For example, matches, a lighter, or a flare gun. If possible, contact a watcher or other person and inform them of your situation while maintaining radio communication. If you can't do anything to get rid of forest madness in the next few seconds, your best option is to end your life. Otherwise, you'll end up becoming a rooted ghoul. Damn. That's morbid. Man, I actually kind of love this trope with a lot of like analog horror and stuff. Uh, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's this exact kind of thing to where it's like, oh man, if you have to deal with this paranormal thing, just punch the ticket, bro. It's game over. That's rough, buddy. All right. Actually, while I'm talking, let me take a quick break from searching things up to actually give a little bit of context because something people may notice that's different from the last version that I played is I'm able to play right now and use the terminal with no interruptions. Very, very nice change. Thank you so much for putting that in place. I really do appreciate it. Being able to like read without having to like juggle stuff is very nice. Anyway, so rooted ghouls are creatures created by the rooted priests from human bodies repaired with wood and roots. Repaired. That's a curious choice of words. I don't know. Despite being constantly mistreated by the priests, the rooted ghouls will always follow their orders. Rooted ghouls have demonstrated some awareness of their previous lives, some still with vocal cords, whispered calls for help, but this could also be a decoy to disorient their victims. They have shown superhuman strength, as well as great physical stamina, and always behave strangely when they do not have a priest to command them. Like many anomalies created by the root, rooted ghouls are very sensitive to runes, especially the one of purification. When killed, they dematerialize and reappear in the forest. As a result, their numbers are constantly increasing. Advice: if a group of rooted ghouls attacks your group and you have defenses, outnumber them, and no priest is present, you can attempt to destroy them and leave once done. If you have a runist with you, he can create a purification zone to prevent ghouls from approaching. Unsupervised rooted ghouls have demonstrated strange behavior where they cease all activity when observed, so make sure you have a clear view of them. If a rooted priest is present, fleeing is still the best option. Okay, so rooted priest is something I want to look up, of course, in a second. What other runist? Okay. Rooted priests are humanoid followers and believers, willing or not, of a cult worshipping the root, and are suspected of being the main cause of the anomalies and the spread of the root's influence. They're considered the eyes, mouth, and ears of the root. Rooted priests wear strange, forest-colored tunics covered in mud, branches, and leaves, allowing them to better conceal themselves in the vegetation. They're often seen carrying various prayer objects called cursed tools, which grant them some influence over other anomalies. The rooted priests are in a constant state of euphoria and seek to share this happiness with every human being. To do this, they will, alone or in a group, find one or more people and begin to recite a religious chant while interacting with the fetish object they're holding. During these encounters, a variety of events can occur. The rooted priest's broken chant can create or summon anomalies that will injure or kill some of the targeted individuals. Weird. Anyway, some of the surviving victims will enter a trance-like state, bewitched by the chant until they disappear to the forest with the priest. The fate of these people remains a mystery. Advice: if you start hearing the singing of a rooted priest, you must find and eliminate it as quickly as possible. The longer the singing continues, the greater the number or danger of the anomalies will increase. Rooted priests will never defend themselves physically, making them easy to eliminate when in range. However, their great intelligence makes them formidable strategists, using various spells or other means of diversion to conceal themselves and stay at a distance. Okay, well, there was something that I saw that I kind of have to check. Curse tools, okay. And there's actually one thing the developer had told me, which is he added a keyword for elves. Oh, wait, elf? Really? I thought he said he added it. Maybe I'm typing it in wrong. We'll see. We'll come back to that later. Let's look at the map before I get too distracted. Oh, wow, there's a lot to this. Okay, so map has the camp, red zone, rock, ruin, shelter. Okay, so camp. Camps are safe zones where the roots, minions, and anomalies cannot enter. Explorers spend the night there or report their findings. Red zone. The anomaly called the red zone is both the easiest to avoid and the most dangerous. A red zone appears when a cursed tool has not been properly disposed. A phenomenon is then triggered where everything within a radius of 5 to 200 meters ends up being fused, dismantled, twisted, and deformed. When a living being enters a red zone, A red glowing fog will emerge. This is what gave the anomaly its name. Anything that enters a red zone will eventually join the chaotic landscape, trapped in a constant state between life and death. It must be considered lost. There is still no way to reverse the effects of a red zone. That is why it is everyone's duty to prevent the formation of new red zones. Advice: follow the steps to do when you find a cursed tool. Update your map regularly to locate the formation of new red zones. Don't try to save what has entered a red zone. Okay. And red zone looks like the letter R. I can actually see them in the corner of my screen. Okay. Rock. Several rocks with symbols carved into them are scattered throughout the Lost Forest. They serve as landmarks for explorers. Fair enough. Ruins are man-made buildings that ended up in the Lost Forest. Explorers often go there in search of information and materials. Okay. Shelters serve as a temporary secure location for explorers during the night. However, be aware of the hungry cabins. Excuse me? Why are cabins hungry? Wait. I There we go. Hungry cabins are anomalies that mimic an emergency shelter in order to devour anyone unfortunate enough to enter them, hence their name. Except for the event that occurs when a living being enters inside, it is impossible to visually distinguish a regular shelter from a hungry cabin. Wow, that sucks. When a person enters a hungry cabin, the door to the cabin will slam shut, including any windows, if present, and open. Okay. At this point, the hungry cabin will begin its digestion phase, secreting powerful stomach acid from the floor and ceiling. This process can last between 15 and 30 minutes. If no one is nearby, the entity will disappear without leaving a trace. The method the hungry cabins use to materialize and dematerialize remains a mystery. Weird. It is still uncertain whether they are living creatures or simply an anomaly. Advice: before entering a shelter, always check if it is on your map. If it is not, there's a good chance that you're facing a hungry cabin. If you do not have a map, contact the watcher in charge. If you or one of your companions finds yourselves trapped inside a hungry cabin, use an object such as an axe, mace, or rock to attempt to break down the door. Okay. And let me just make sure I didn't miss anything for shelter. Yeah. Don't forget to check your map for the locations of shelters. Sounds about right. So the trees marked on your map are particularly large trees that serve as landmarks for explorers. Some trees may have 1 to 3 trunks and at times may have a rune engraved on them. Okay. The village is where the survivors of the incident that brought humans to the Lost Forest live. Okay. To avoid the root's influence, the village is built on a barren, arid surface. prevents the inhabitants from growing anything or raising livestock. This is why explorers exist. This might not be important, but I'm just checking in the off chance it's there. That should be everything for map. Okay. And I got everything there. So I know there was the bestiary. What else? What's the map? What does the map... Oh, actually, I was looking at that in tools. Duh. Okay. Cursed tool. Wait. Did I have a typo? The last time I said... Whatever. Doesn't matter. Cursed tools are the primary supernatural instruments used by the rooted priests. There are a wide variety of cursed tools, and each one resembles a cult object or religious artifact. Due to their dangerousness when used by a human being, it is not yet possible to determine a clear relationship between the different cursed tools and the effects they can generate. The effects of cursed tools when used by a priest are as follows. It can summon an army of rooted ghouls. It can emit a field that cancels the effect of runes. And summon giant roots that destroy and kill anything nearby. It creates illusions and psychic waves, causing violent migraines. Manipulates one or multiple people. And it can summon thick fog. Advice: if you come across a cursed tool, you must immediately bury it without touching it with your hands, and recite a prayer, regardless of religion. Otherwise, the cursed tool will eventually generate a red zone. That's probably going to be very important. Okay. So let me take a second to read some of these. So there's the Crooked Harpy, the Deer Smile, Fairy, False Tree. We already looked at Forest Madness, Hungry Cabin. We already looked at the Path to Nowhere. Oh man, this reminds me of Oh man, what? I can't believe I'm blanking on the name. I think it's the Talking Heads. It's the song Road to Nowhere. Anyway, so I already looked at Red Zone, a Root Totem. I already looked at Rooted Ghoul, Rooted Priest, Runes. Now looked at the Doorman. So start with the Crooked Harpy. The Crooked Harpies are a strange species of humanoid birds that are neither fairies nor a creation of the root. These creatures are about 1 meter tall, including feathery arms and backs, a bony outgrowth covering their heads, resembling a large bird skull, and vocal cords that can reproduce almost any sound. During the day, Crooked Harpies will sleep in caves or hollow logs until sunset. Once night falls, they roam the forest in groups of 2 to 6 harpies in order to find food or learn new sounds. When they find prey, the harpies begin to twist their bodies so that in the dark they will have a silhouette of a large owl. They will then emit different sounds in order to drive their prey away from its group and isolate it to devour it. An interesting fact about crooked harpies is that their mental and social development develops based on what they eat. For example, harpies who ate primarily wolves will have better coordination for hunting, while those who ate more deer will have a sharper sense of danger. Crooked harpies that have primarily eaten humans will eventually develop an interest in socializing with other humans, using various words and sounds they've heard to create sentences. Explorers have even reported crooked harpies that have saved their lives in perilous situations. These harpies should not be treated as a threat. Damn, that one. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. Um, Brief note. I don't speak French. I don't know how to say this. I believe it's a French word for advice. Forgive me if I butcher it. Conseils. That's my guess at it. Although the chances of you being attacked by crooked harpies are slim, be sure to be armed and accompanied. Using loud sounds such as gunshots or ultrasounds appears to be an effective tactic to scare off harpies. If you see a crooked harpy coming towards you laughing, you're doomed. If you see one of your companions reported as dead, you're doomed. If you see a crooked harpy with a smile, you're doomed. If you hear the word happy bird, you're doomed. Those last few, though. Damn. Okay. Happy bird. What a weird phrase to hear before you die. Like, just imagine, like, your final moments like that. Damn, that must be so weird. I'd wager they probably are, like, they might have, like, some amount of, like, relation. Like, they might say happy bird and might be smiling at the same time or something. But that last bit about some not being treated as a threat makes me feel there's gonna be an NPC. Whoops. I don't know if they're in the game yet, but if they're not in the game yet, they will be. Because that's Chekhov's gun if I've ever seen it. So let's look at the bestiary. So next is Deer Smile. So the deer smile or smiling deer is a species of deer parasitized by the root. It gets its name from its large exposed jaw, resembling a distorted smile. This sounds like Smile Dog, kind of. Maybe it's like an homage. I don't know. As well as the noise it makes, similar to a muffled laugh. During the day, deer smiles look and behave like regular deer, except for their fearlessness and the fact that predators instinctively flee from them. In the event that it comes across a human, the deer's smile will approach and act curious, allowing itself to be petted and cuddled to coax the human. The deer smile uses this tactic in order to have its target lead it to its group. Oh, that's messed up. Makes sense though. But this reminds me. Oh, this sounds like something from Redwood Bureau. By the way, Redwood Bureau, amazing podcast. If you guys haven't heard it yet, um, let me do a quick check to see what it's called. I should be able to find it in like 2 seconds. Does Redwood Bureau not make it easy? I think it might be the hider. It would be the Redwood Bureau's like oldest one, I'm pretty sure. I think. I could be wrong. But this gives me hider vibes from Redwood Bureau. Anyway, if you like this story, check out that podcast. I have no relation to it though. When night falls, they undergo a rapid mutation, deforming them, giving them supernatural abilities and unusual intelligence. In this form, the deer smiles exhibit sadistic and psychopathic behavior. If they have not found a human group during the day, they wander into the forest looking for a potential victim. Once a target is spotted, the deer smile will torture them, first psychologically and then physically, managing to keep them alive for hours. Why the deer smiles have such a great knowledge of human anatomy remains a mystery. Oh god, they're doctors. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Advice. If a deer shows no fear of humans, seems to scan the surroundings, or follows a person closely, eliminate it immediately without hesitation and burn its carcass. Damn. Which, this is still giving me hider vibes. If you find yourself facing a deer smile during the night, do not panic under any circumstances. Here's what you need to do. Stay calm and try to keep your breathing and heart rate at a normal level. Don't run. Let the deer smile know you've seen it by looking it in the eye, and walk normally towards your destination, ignoring it. Avoid calling for help or shouting. Do not verbalize with a deer smile. He may interpret your words as an attempt to reassure you, which would indicate to him that you are under stress. If you hear someone calling for help, accompanied by cries of pain, do not try to save them. Take advantage of this to move as quickly as possible. No one will blame you. That's a fun one. I like that one. That sounds fun. Fairy. Okay, so the creatures known as fairies are a variety of non-hostile creatures that inhabited the Lost Forest. Actually, I need to make a mental note of this. Because like when I was talking to the developer, he gave me clues to the other 3 secret logs that I hadn't found, and this actually coincides with the second secret log, which would be the name of the forest, which is the Lost Forest. I'll mark that down so I don't forget about it. I'll check that in a second. Anyway, inhabited the Lost Forest long before the arrival of man. Some resemble animals or insects, sometimes with a more humanoid form, but always with features reminiscent of nature, such as flowers, leaves, and wood. Those who call themselves elf are shapeshifters who, for some reason, like to take on a human appearance and live among them. When humans arrived, some of them shared their knowledge of rune magic, allowing humans to protect themselves against the root. Other fairies considered them to be the cause of the root's appearance in the Lost Forest, hating humans to the highest degree. Fairies see humans as an inferior race that they must help and protect, like a parent and child, or destroy and exterminate. Some have greater pride than others that can be easily hurt, but despite their large egos, fairies have a strong sense of honor, respect, and hierarchy. If you and your group meet one or more fairies, always be polite, grateful, and on guard. Avoid at all costs to put them against you. All elves living among humans are to be treated like any other person. If a fairy only wants to speak to a governor, go find the leader of the group. If a higher figure is not present, apologize and explain that they are not currently there, but that you can serve as a messenger. Okay. So, it talked about elves a little bit. Let me just double check that I'm not missing elf or elves. Just double checking. Okay. Actually, before I do, there we go. Some elves have asked me for help in finding the source of a corruption that has recently appeared in the Lost Forest. As corruption seems to be affecting the forest and what lives within it, the elves have been forced to swallow their pride and ask the only outsider who can help them. It was satisfying to see these egotistical beings stoop so low, but I knew that if they were going to turn to me, it was going to be more serious than I thought. Besides, I prefer not to get on their bad side. They can be useful. When I got there, it was much worse than I had imagined. Corrupted plants and creatures sought to kill or corrupt anything that was not. Fortunately, the elves were able to find a way to contain it, but the corruption seems to have a powerful ability to adapt. During my research on the corrupted zone, I quickly realized that dangerous entities have made this place their home. I managed to interrogate one of them who had the intelligence to communicate. They told me that the cause would come from the arrival of a religious group worshipping an unknown higher entity. And that has to do with the root. JW. Okay. Back to the bestiary. Let's get false tree. The false tree is the name given to a group of giant carnivorous entities. Theories say that they were created artificially by the rooted priests or an as of yet unknown anomaly due to the increase in their numbers without signs of reproduction. At first glance, false trees look like large dead pine trees with whitish bark and no needles. However, upon closer inspection, one notices their phenomenal camouflage. What we perceive as branches are in reality hands with several hooked fingers covered with small hooks, allowing an optimal grip on their victims. What appear to be knots are actually a series of eyes, ranging in number from 15 to 32, providing almost absolute panoramic vision. Despite this excellent view, false trees have a very limited view of what lies below them. This is why they use flexible, root-like appendages to geolocate their surroundings. False trees are nocturnal creatures that sleep during the day and only hunt when hungry. When hunting, they move silently until they spot prey of interest. Really? Once prey is located, they root and wait for it to approach, before grabbing it and depositing it into one of their mouths. If a false tree is particularly hungry, it will become more aggressive and less stealthy. Some reports mention groups being attacked by a false tree that simply charged, emitting a disturbing screech before grabbing a victim and returning to the forest. Man, oh darn, that's rough, dude. Uh, I'm not gonna lie, having a tree just charge at me while screeching, that's rough, buddy. False trees have also been shown to feel fear, sadness, joy, and anger, but not love or compassion. Any attempt to tame or raise a false tree usually ends in the death of the creature or the people involved. Kind of unsurprising, but makes sense. Advice: fire remains the most effective way to keep them away. A simple flame can plunge a false tree into a state of extreme panic. This phenomenon is most strange because it has been observed that the skin of false trees has a layer of oil, making them resistant to fire. Weird, but okay. False trees generally avoid confrontation. Throwing objects or projectiles at them may dissuade them from making you their next meal. That sounds really handy, actually. It is also recommended to avoid staying out in the open when a false tree is stalking you. Seek shelter, such as a cabin, cave, or other refuge, until the false tree loses its patience and moves on. Makes sense. Um, let's see here. Path to Nowhere. I still really need to re-listen to Road to Nowhere when I'm done playing this. It's such a good song. The anomaly Path to Nowhere describes a path that should not exist. Actually, you know what? Before I even get into this, uh, developer, I highly, highly recommend. Some of the names of the anomalies that you use are like Path to Nowhere. These names are so cool. You should totally do yourself a huge favor and like or just like write some like short stories. Kind of like the little like archives here. But like this reminds me so much of like when I would like read about like SCPs and stuff. Like goodness, it was like a decade ago when SCPs were popular. Doesn't matter though. But they have such cool names. Anyway, a path that should not exist, which a sense of comfort and well being emanates, thus inciting these victims to take it. Okay. When a person sees the path to nowhere, they enter a trance like state, constantly describing the beauty of the path, filled with natural wonders, with the sun's rays piercing through the leaves of the trees, even if it's night. If the person is not brought to their senses, they will move deeper into the forest and disappear as soon as they are out of sight. Those who have been brought back to their senses have no memory of seeing such a path, but only remember a gentle voice calling them. It is not yet clear whether the path to nowhere is the creation of the root or the fairies, nor whether this anomaly is an exit or a decoy. However, due to reports of furtive appearances of missing people after taking the path, observing them from shadowy areas of the forest, it's best to think of the path to nowhere as a dangerous anomaly to be avoided. Advice: if you see a path that is too good to be true, immediately close your eyes and plug your ears. Wait a few minutes or ask someone to move you away from it. If one of your companions mentions a non existent path, stand in front of them and cover their ears. In a few seconds, they should come to their senses. If a victim of the anomaly is too deep into the forest, they should be considered lost. Trying to find them would put you in danger. Makes sense. Already looked at Red Zone. Root Totem. Root totems are strange effigies created by the rooted priests from wood, rock, mud, and various organic materials. They measure approximately 1 meter in height and half a meter in width. Whoa. Those are big. Okay. I thought they would have been like tiny, like handheld kind of things. There are currently only 3 types of totems, each with their own effects. Oh, the screaming totem. Okay. The screaming totem emits a sequence of several agonizing screams through the communications equipment in the surrounding area. This prevents all radio communication and allows the anomalies to Locate the Watchers and the Explorers. Oh, that's brutal. The target totem draws creatures to its location. If it is not destroyed quickly, the mob gathering will eventually get out of control. The blind totem absorbs all forms of light and energy in its surroundings, rendering all communications, runes, and light sources unusable. Okay. Advice. At the slightest sign that a totem has been planted nearby, find it and burn it. If there are any clues that a rooted priest was in the vicinity, search the area for a potential totem. Makes sense. Already got rooted ghoul, already got rooted priest, already got runes. Let's get the doorman. The thing nicknamed the doorman is an entity whose purpose, appearance, or whatever happens to its victims remains unclear. Okay. Every instance where the doorman has manifested has these things in common. The doorman always knocks on the door to announce his arrival. The victim was in an indoor location, such as a tent, shelter, or cabin. The victim was in a state of mourning or depression. The victim was alone. The victim was in a stressful situation. All doors and windows become impossible to open or break from outside. Wait, does that mean that they can't be broken from outside? Well, I have the doorman. Good to know. So, like, if there's a doorman and some uprooted ghouls, doorman takes precedence. Okay. The victim lost a loved one he or she cared about very much. When the doorman manifests, it will take on the excuse me, will take on the voice of a deceased person who was dear to his victim, pretending to be that person who has come to help them. It will lure his prey to approach the half-open door before grabbing them and dragging them into the darkness. If the victim has dealt with the doorman before, the entity will not pretend to be the loved one, but will use its voice to lower the morale of its prey, thus leading them to think that it is the only solution to their problem. Those who have seen the doorman and are still here to talk about it say they only saw their faces. This one being a copy of the deceased person to whom the voice belonged. Oh, but with hollow eyes and a mouth, smiling unnaturally as it approached. Okay, advice. Avoid being alone in an indoor place or keep the door open if it does not put you in danger. If the doorman comes to you, keep a cool head and ignore any promises and lies it tells you, no matter how tempting they may be. If you have a purification rune or a powerful light source, approach the door to catch a glimpse of the doorman and use it when you see his smiling face. The last resort is to stay away from the door until he loses his patience with you. Staying away from the door. Well, if windows can't be broken, right? I mean, I'm just saying. It'd just be useful just to, like, leave him there. But now is where I have to start really hunting for the other two secret logs. Yeah, man. So, the way to get to the third secret log, the hint I got was it was the name of a unique version of a monster named in the bestiary. So, a unique version of a monster named in the bestiary. Remember there's being different ones of these mentioned. Let me just skim this real quick. Uh, what if I type in Happy Bird? Fascinating. This was unexpected. I didn't think this was going to lead anywhere. My name is Monica Lubell. A doctor in psychology and behavior of anomalies. Last night. So Happy Bird is the name. Okay. Explorers fell victim to the entity called Happy Bird. As presented in previous cases, Happy Bird left only one survivor alive. The difference this time is that it demonstrated a need to socialize. In order to investigate this new discovery, I am interviewing the survivor in question. For the record, can you introduce yourself? R. Tolman. Okay. Yes, my name is Ray Tolman, 5th grade explorer. Good. Can you tell me what happened that night, Mr. Tolman? We were returning from exploring a large ruin to find rations. By the time we got out, it was already dark, so we set up camp at the entrance to the ruin. How long did it take you to notice that one of your colleagues was missing? Not long. Once the camp was set up, we quickly noticed Rod was missing. Then, suddenly, he came out of the forest, telling us he had gone to get some wood. But it wasn't him. How did you know? This kid was terrified of the forest. He would never have gone to get wood alone in the middle of the night. Damn it. He was only 15. What happened next? The thing quickly noticed that we suspected something was wrong, and it started laughing. It sounded like there were a dozen deer smiles surrounding us, and it... My God. Take your time. Rod's body began to twist and tear. What lay inside was the most terrifying, nightmarish, crooked harpy I had ever seen. It was Happy Bird. Please, don't say its name. It started killing, slowly, each member of my group, my friends. It was so fast, I could barely follow it with my eyes. It was like a shadow with black feathers that was sliced, devoured, and tore everything in its path. And you were the only one left. Yes. During this chaos, it cut off my hand when I tried to reach for my gun. But after this massacre, it calmly, humming, picked up some bandages and began to treat my wound. Interesting. What did it do next? It pulled out one of our food rations and handed it to me. Its hands still dripping with the blood of my companions. But I was far from hungry after all that. You informed me that you were able to question the creature. When I regained my composure, I did indeed have the strength to ask it questions. What did you learn? I was able to learn how this thing mutated into what it is now. It told me that it used to eat everything in this forest, including fairies and the root's creations. If what you say is true, shouldn't it be under the influence of the root? It seems that the crooked harpies have an immunity to the root's corruption. This is how it was able to devour ghouls, priests, and other anomalies without succumbing to its control. Fascinating. What else were you able to learn? Happy. The creature has developed an intelligence that I would judge above the average human. It is able to read, write, and communicate with sounds it has never heard. It can twist and manipulate its body in such a way that it is able to take on the skin of an animal and move naturally, like it did with Rod. And then what happened? It stayed by my side. I could see and hear ghouls, false trees, and deer smiles all around the camp at the edge of the light carried by the fire, but none of them dared to approach. This lasted until sunrise, when they all went back into the shadow of the forest. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Tolman. The information you have gathered will be very useful. There is something else. What? It asked me to ask you a question. Nobody informed me about this. It's because I had to ask you, and only you. Very well, I'm listening. Do you know the identity of the supposed lost king of the fairies? 6 letters. They're blanked out. So it's true. You know who it could be. How do you know about this? It taught me things that few people still alive know. Let's pretend I know who it is. What do you suggest? Do you want us to give him to it? Absolutely not. I don't know who he is, and to be honest, I don't care. What you know about him, the Wonder Life, center, or the incident. Wonder Life. I want to search that up later. What I do know is that the Harpy doesn't know you found him. And that person is probably our only hope of defeating the root. Oh. Did it mention anything in return? It promised me that it would reduce his attacks on our troops until we found him, and that it would leave us alone for good if we brought him back to it. But let me tell you something, Dr. Lubell. If this monster manages to get his hands on the only entity known so far capable of defeating the root and getting us out of this cursed forest, I think we will face a greater danger than anything that exists in the Lost Forest. Moment of silence. I must inform the Watchers of this. This information must remain secret, and the boy's safety must become a priority. Understood. May I ask you a personal question? At this point, go for it. I know you and the Watchers were there during the incident, and I don't know how no one noticed this before, including me, but how old are you, really? So let's start with the thing that I noticed. Wonder Life. Okay, that's fine. So, to find the 4th secret log, I have to find the name of the king, with a hint in secret log 3. It's 6 characters, so I'm going to take a shot in the dark. Not Tolman. Worth a shot. So, Monica Bell. It's unlikely that it's Monica, but Yeah. Curious, curious, curious. What is the name of the king? I have a feeling, and this is just a shot in the dark, but I have a hunch that I know what it might be. Is the... Oh, the note's gone. Hmm. It might be the name of my character. I could be wrong. What a puzzle. The Lost King of the Fairies, and there's 6 characters. I forget the name of my character. I'm gonna have to look at that note that I read in the beginning of the game, and I'll come back later. I will find that secret log 4 though, if given the opportunity. Tip: when using the radio, you can press E to end the current message. You click a second time to move to the next message. Oh yeah, as a heads up, monsters will begin appearing once I begin actually doing this. So get ready, because now we're past the lore, we're in the gameplay now, boys. Can anyone hear me? I lost my group and could use some help. Please, can anyone hear me? Yes, I'm here. Oh my god, it worked. Sorry, I'm Alex, a second rank explorer. And I'm in a complicated situation. So the name of my character is Aaron, so it definitely wouldn't be me. Because, 4 characters versus 6. What happened? Me and my group were ambushed by a rooted priest and his rooted ghouls. In a panic, we split up. I managed to find refuge in a ruin where I found this radio and the remains of an unlucky explorer. One of my colleagues had the map, and without it, I might as well be dead. But if you're in a watchtower, that would mean you should have one. Before we get into this, do you know how... I'm sorry, do you know what a watcher does? Refresh me. No problem. I'll sum it all up for you. In a moment, I'll give you some landmarks so that you can locate me on the map. Once done, you must tell me the way to the nearest camp. But be careful. Some paths may have a red zone, and there's no way back. So be sure. I may also need your help if I encounter anomalies or other dangers. You should have a terminal at your disposal. Use it to learn about what lives in the forest and tell me how to get out if I encounter any. Now that everything is explained, it's time to get to work. During the attack, I ran towards the southeast. I came across a tree with 3 trunks, a rock with a spiral, and I took shelter in a ruin. Look at your map and tell me the way to the nearest camp. Don't forget, southeast, tree with 3 trunks, rock with spiral. I'm at a ruin. Which direction should I take? Okay. Map location. Oh, that is so handy. Okay, so there's a red zone to the left, so you have to go to the northeast. Okay. Thank you, Chief. You saved my life. I'll call you back in a moment. In the meantime, take care of yourself. The towers are said to be not a very safe place. If you hear or suspect there's a monster outside, use the rune to make them disappear. You can turn off the lights to see them better and stop them from acting when you look at them. Be careful not to overheat the generator or succumb to forest madness. Overheat the generator by having the lights off? Or by having them on? Oh, let me do myself a favor. Okay, so I should only ever have a light off for like... Okay. This is nice. So 6 characters for the name. I don't know what that might be. It must be the name of, like, my relatives, surely. It's me again, Walter. Is everything okay on your side? Had some visitors. Must have encountered some rooted ghouls, I did. These things are slaves of the rooted priests. People like you and me who had the misfortune of finding themselves transformed into this. You can find more info on your terminal. Don't let them torment you. They try to destabilize you so they can strike at the right time. Just make sure to check around frequently for any and chase them away. And don't let them into the tower, or you'll probably end up like them. Now I'm the one who needs your advice. I followed the path you showed me without difficulty, but I'm starting to hear sounds that don't portend anything good. I just passed by a ruin, an old house, I think. Which path should I take? Let me just do a quick check. Okay. You know, just in case I missed something. So, old house, I think. So you can't go to the left. There's a red zone. What the hell? Okay. wow. The timer for this is brutal. Passed by a ruin, an old house, I think. So he's past it. Which path should I take? Bad news. What's wrong? Both paths are not recommended. Okay. So neither are recommended. Why? Why are neither recommended? They lead to a house. They lead to a shelter. I don't see anything wrong with it. There's no red zone. So long as you're careful about it. There's like runes and stuff though. Nothing. False alarm. Okay, so which path? I guess the right one? Alright, here we go. Get back to you in a moment. Take care, Watcher. Okay, to chase away the doorman, you must equip yourself with your rune and open the door crack. Wait until you have a good look at his face before flashing him. Too early and you'll have to start over. And too late and he'll catch you. The doorman announces his departure with a threatening laugh. Make sure your door is closed, or the doorman will attack you by surprise. It's me. I know you must have a lot of questions for me. Be happy. Yeah. Okay, 1 second. I would love to hear what you're saying. Just give me a second. Okay, they wanted to eliminate me, but I survived. You can't trust them. Open this door, Aaron. How can you leave your grandfather outside with these monsters? Give me your name. I want your name. Give me the name. They're all going to betray you like everyone always has. But I'm here for you. Open the door and together we can get out of this forest. Come on, name drop yourself. It's me. Okay, no, it's just looping. Hello? Reveal yourself to me, coward. Oh, god damn it. Okay. Hey, buddy, still in one piece? Yep. Oh, no, it's just... Did you know the other Watchers well? The 6th and 7th were my grandparents. Oh, shit, I'm so sorry. They were good people and loved by everyone. If we managed to survive this long in this forest, it's thanks to them. They are a real source of hope. So, when it was learned that the last Watcher had fallen, morale was at its lowest. Using my radio was a shot in the dark, and yet here you are. When the others learn that there is still a Watcher active, they won't be able to believe they're Alex? A false deer. What are you talking about? There's a fucking deer. There's a deer smile staring at me from barely 3 meters away. I have to get out of here. Wait, do not run. What? You want me to get caught by this thing? What is it doing? It doesn't move. It just stares at me with the smile of a psychopath. Wait a second. My god. Blarg. Alex? Gil. It holds... Oh, god damn it. Now is not the time. Just show your face faster, you bastard! Oh, for God's sake. Okay. Oh. Just bear with me, Alex, buddy. Okay. This is... Okay, please, I don't want to die here. Okay, stay calm and neutral. Okay. Inhales, exhales. What next? Continue on your way and keep eye contact, okay? I'm starting to lose sight of him. What should I do? It's okay, just keep walking. I think it's okay. And this is why we read what they do beforehand. Thank you. Thank you for not leaving me alone. Alright. You'll thank me when you're safe at the camp. You're right, sniff. I'm sorry, I can't say that. I still have to get to the camp in one piece. But I trust your skills, Watcher. Alright, sniff. Let's go. I see shelter further away. I'm going to stop there for a moment. To let myself digest everything that just happened. Wait. Don't scare me like that. Give me some points of reference. Let me just... Just making sure. Okay. Oh, doorman. I gotta be quick about this, so can you... Yeah. I will just close the door if you want to be like this. There we go. Alright. Oh, I see a rock with a Z and a vertical line in the middle. Yep. And that would be, shelter. Alright, cool. Oh, good. False alarm. God's sake. This is really not the time to stress me out. The door just closed, and it is blocked. Bash, bash, bash. You have to get me out of here, please, please. Really? That was a fake one? There was a shelter symbol on the... There was a shelter symbol. Okay. Still one piece. Yep. Oh, no, it's just... yes. Okay. Skip. Alex. False deer. What are you talking about? Get out of here. Wait. What is it doing? Okay. Me just preemptively. Oh, he hadn't reached the fork in the road yet. Huh? Are you sure? Should I just keep going? There is a shelter a little further. I thought it was that shelter. No choice, I guess. All right. I'll call you back once I get there. And thanks again. I owe you a lot. Okay. Come on. There you are. Oh, that wasn't close. Hey, buddy. We are chilling. Back already. Okay. Let me just double check, make sure all the rooted are good. This might be a problem. I'm gonna lose to the madness. I don't think I'll be good. I think this is gonna kill me. I'm gonna it. No. Okay. Oh? What? Hello? Bog? Oh? Oh! Damn this checkpoint. Okay, false steer. Let's... Okay, wait. Don't move. Stay calm and neutral. Continue on your way, keep eye contact. It's okay, just keep walking. Thank me when you're at camp. Wait. Some points of reference. So rock. Okay, there is no shelter that you should see on the map. There's a shelter a little further on. You are welcome. Oh, god damn it, man. Show yourself, coward. Oh, god damn it, this is gonna kill me again. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Let's give it a college try one more time. Alright, yes, need my help. They were my grandparents. Is everything okay? Chum out. Wait. Don't move. Stay calm and neutral. Keep on your way. It's okay, just keep walking. Damn you in your camp. Wait. Points of reference. There is no shelter. There is a shelter further on. Yoink. Sounded like there was one. Man, they arrive in pairs, which kind of blows. Okay. Hey, Watcher's still there. Everything is going well. Seems like things are going better on your side than mine. I left the shelter a while ago. Someone had left this revolver there, loaded with 4 bullets. It certainly won't kill any of these things, but it might at least slow them down. I'm now facing a large tree with 2 trunks where the path splits into 2. Which path should I take? Yeah, let's not go into the crevice, shall we? Right. Got it, boss. My radio battery is starting to get low, so I'll call you back when... Do you hear that? No. A chant. I hear a kind of chant. A chant. It sounds like the chant of a... Shit. There's a rooted priest with an army of ghouls. No time to hang around. I hope you know the way, because it's going to go quickly. What do you mean? I can't do anything. The 2 trunk trees to my left, and there's what looks like a ruin on the left path. Which path should I take? Okay. I don't think a ruin's bad. Oh, come on. Or which path should I take? Okay, past a crossroads. The left path because ghouls were coming to my right. I'm at a ruin. There's a rock. Or an equal symbol with a vertical line at the top of the square behind me. Which path should I take? Left. That's another ruin. I continued straight because ghouls were coming to my left. I now see on my left a rock with a circle, where a separate line in the middle goes diagonally. It's engraved on. Which path should I take? Left. That's a problem. That's my last bullet. Oh no. I saw a ghoul. Where were they? Okay, I gotta be quick. Dude, this doorman is such a pain. Yeah. That Forest Madness mechanic is so brutal. Whoa, what was my camera doing there? Okay. I think I was looking up because, like, I moved my cursor to, like, click retry. If you mention my grandparents. Okay. Let's go right. No, a chance. Okay. I'm a bit worried about this because, like, how far does he have to get? actually. There we go. Just so I can hear stuff a little bit better. Okay, the two trunk trees to my left, and there's what looked like a ruin on the path. Take the ruin. Da, 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 okay. The ruin, which path should I take? Let's go to the left. Which path should I take? Go to the right. No more energy. Need to restart the generator. Man, show your face. That was... God damn it. I'm gonna die to the forest madness. That's rough, buddy. Insane. Well, there's not even a point. Yeah. Alright, so what I'm going to do actually, real quick, is I'm going to start a new game so I can look at the names on the beginning letter. And after that, I'm probably going to leave it trying to find the fourth secret log because, let me tell you, that Forest Madness mechanic, I, I do genuinely think it's going to be making that last stretch borderline unbeatable, even on normal difficulty. Um, just a little note for the developer. Uh, One thing that might make Forest Madness a lot more manageable is if you make like the Watcher, like the point where you can flash the Watcher, like make that like more like obvious. It's hard to word, but like that last one, for instance, it was like it's so close to where it's like I mean you could see his face, but like it's hard to know exactly where you reach the mark. And with how Forest Madness is, missing that once with the doorman, it takes so long for the doorman to appear that you just kind of have to stand there and be like, well, I guess that's that for this run. It's a bit unfortunate, but just a little something for you to like jot down and just mull over a little bit. Anyway, I will be getting back to that letter. Okay, so now that I'm looking at the note, so six letter names. Morgan, that's a big one. Six letters. That's promising. Okay. Next order of business. Let me just skim. So what was the name of Lou Bell. Lou Bell was like the doctor. And Lou Bell, the doctor, was aware of the king. Okay, you know what? I have an inkling of what I need to do. Damn. It was worth a shot. Maybe it's like I'm just trying weird variations. Just I'm stumped. I'm stumped. Name of the king. There's a hint in Secret Log 3. I don't know. Yeah, I'm stumped. Let's try this. So, King of the Fairies, 6 characters. Yeah, I'm stumped. 6 characters. I don't know. I don't know what it might be. I tried to figure out the fourth one, but I mean, the only hint I really had to go off of. The developer told me that Secret Log 4, there was a hint. So he told me it's the name of the king is the fourth secret log, and there's a hint in Secret Log 3. Secret Log 3 was Happy Bird, and the only hint I could find was that when they mentioned the name of the king, it was just 6 empty characters. Whoops, gone past it. Right there. The identity of the lost king of the fairies. Blank, 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 blank. Yeah. I mean, I don't see anything. If someone figures it out, I would be more than happy to go back and showcase it. But for now, I mean, I'm stumped. I don't know what else to go off of. I got the character hint, but it's not Tolman. It's not Monica. It's like it's not Morgan. I was really sure it was Morgan. Was it not like a weird spelling? I don't know. But I would say that was what I was able to figure. I was able to uncover everything but the last one. I think that's all right. On that note, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Have a great rest of your day. See ya.